Originally, I was gonna start the part by entering that container and saying a funny thing, but I flubbed it up, so we're not. Hello everybody and welcome back for more Let's Play Banjo-Kazooie. I'm Hunter, and in the last part, we died in the fucking engine room. And in this part, we're gonna have to collect the rest of the notes because of that. So, yeah. Normally this isn't the kind of thing people would keep in, but I need you guys to understand how hell it is to do this. Actually, is there any notes? No, I'm pretty sure there's notes in here, right? At least one or two. I don't remember this world as much as the other one, so I don't actually remember. All I know is that the next world is very segmented, and I remember exactly how many notes are in each section, so it should be relatively easy compared to this one. I'm actually also looking forward to that world, too, so that's also a plus. Unlike this fucking stage. Still a little bit furious. But regardless, we will be finishing it in this part, presuming that nothing even worse happens, like the audio for the video not recording, in which case I won't even bother to re-record it. I'll just say, screw it. You'll just have to deal with no audio. Which is unfortunate, but I don't have the patience to replay through this world again. I don't. I do not. Which is one upside I will give, one big upside I will give the rare replay version is that because of the fact that notes don't have to be recollected upon death, you don't have to deal with what I just dealt with. That is the pains of the N64 version in specific, is that because of, you know, because of the note score mechanic, the dying has a lot less drawbacks in the rare replay version, because, you know, you don't lose all of your progress all over again, and then have to redo everything all over again. I'm very absent-mindedly just walking about, because that dealt a really big blow to me. I mean, it happened to me all the time, and it still kind of happens to me in previous playthroughs that I've had of this game, but still, it doesn't change the fact that it hurts. It doesn't change the fact that losing all of that progress, 3 videos worth of progress, is just gone in a moment because you slipped and fell off the ledge. So yeah, once again, personal advice, do the engine room first. I don't know why I did the engine room last, but I guess I felt confident enough that I would be able to get through it because there's a lot of dangers in the engine room, but it's like 1 or 2 that can be, threatening. In fact, I think even 100% speedruns, I want to believe that anyway in 100% speedruns, they always do the engine room first because of that. That, or they do a trick. What is the trick, you may ask? Well, I didn't want to do it because I didn't want to, you know, be cheap about it. I mean, I could honestly just say, screw you, world, because it doesn't deserve this. It really does not deserve this honor of being played normally. But, I could have just done the cheap way and done this cheap strat, but I will show that last after I collect all the notes, because I want to make sure I at least get all the notes before I subjugate myself to the possibility of dying again at the hands of one missed jump. I don't want to believe there are any notes over there. In fact, I'm pretty sure there aren't. So, what was I doing again? I don't remember. What was I doing? Okay, no. Pop! Okay. So, let's tell y'all what happened at this point, because this is post-commentary, Hunter, in case you couldn't tell. At this point, I was interrupted by, rather, there was background noise that I couldn't really deal with without, you know, having to stop, and I'm not usually about that life. Anyway, long story short is that for the next 10 minutes it's going to be me, more or less, because of the constant interruptions, and really I was lacking so much energy after the engine room that I just didn't know what to do. In fact, I lost so much energy I completely forgot to show off the skip that I was mentioning earlier. The skip in question, by the way, is that you clip underneath the boat, and through that you go to the back of the propellers, where you just grab the jiggy then and there. So yeah, that's the trick. I might show it off if I remember to at a later point. Hopefully I will. Hopefully this commentary doesn't also get eaten by wolves, because this part just seems to be cursed. Just straight up, it just seems to be cursed. Now, I was actually planning to spend most of this post-commentary segment just talking about, you know, maybe some of the lesser aspects of Banjo-Kazooie, the parts that really do irk me, but I feel like you've got the most of it with this world in particular, so I don't know if I'm repeating myself if I say some of these things, but the long and short of it is that the note score mechanic is an interesting incentive to not die, but at the same time, when you get to a world like this, no. I don't think it's a good idea to do something like that, because that's just infuriating at that point. And even though I really do like the next world from an aesthetic viewpoint, that world is possibly the most notorious for losing note scoring, because there's like an hour worth of walking around and doing stuff in that world. At least that's what my first time was. I spent about that long trying to get everything in that world. And if I had to die and get out all again, oh boy! But yeah, because the next world's notes are very scattered out and about and all that kind of stuff, so it's kind of actually very hard to get everything again. At least in terms of motivating yourself to get everything again because of that. Anyhow. So yeah, that's basically it. Now, well actually it's not basically it, there's a little more. So essentially it's the fact that, you know, obviously going to the engine room first is probably the best idea, but the game doesn't really, you know, give you a fair enough warning that, aside from maybe if you just left the game idle on the title screen long enough and let that section play, which yes, the engine room is one of the sections that gets demoed on the title screen, and yes, the demo player does die during the engine room bit, so, you know, foreshadowing. But at the same time, in terms of, you know, getting through the game, I don't want to count that as something that it's like, hey, the game gave you pre-warning, and no. The game itself, like, in the world itself, should have given you, like, a little bit more leeway for the engine room thing. Which actually, now that I think about it, maybe the flooded engine room music came from the fact that when you stop the propellers in that one side room to slow down the blades, it would actually flood the engine room and make it easier, instead of, you know, just slowing the fan blades down. Which makes sense. Makes a lot of sense, actually. But at the same time, that would also mean that the engine room is flooded and the boat should be capsized, so I don't know. Maybe they didn't put it in because of logistics? I don't know. Either way, yeah. I know I got really angry about this world, and honestly, it's mostly because of the engine room. I will agree with the comments of the past couple of videos, where they have they mentioned that, yes, this music is a bop. This music is indeed a bop. It's a pretty good bop. The engine room really just does take the majority of the, you know, my words are hard, man. Words are very difficult. The majority of my reception to this world, it's the basis of most of it. It's a little bit unfair, yes, but it's just how I've always felt. I've always associated this world with the engine room, and I forever hate it because of that. So, that's basically how it goes. And also, I spent like a good couple minutes here, very nervously trying to, you know, get into the hole where the boat, where the anchor is, because, you know, that didn't actually reset upon completing the world, and it's very hard to see underwater, in case you couldn't notice. Speaking of being able to notice things, I noticed that looking on YouTube, that, the saturation may be a little bit too dark, and I'm trying to figure out how to fix that. I'm not sure if it'll be better by the next video, but, you know, I honestly don't know. But yeah, no, I spent like way too long trying to find this hole, like, where is it? And I only go in for like half second and then just run out of the way because I'm like, I don't want to drown above the water, because that'd be stupid. So I'm like, okay, gotta run to the buoy where the ginger is so I can not die, because that's my safety spot apparently. I'm looking away a lot. It's probably gonna make the audio sound a little echoey. I'm really bad about, you know, looking directly at the microphone for this. I need to maybe move it a little bit closer. That's probably what made it a little louder. Now audio balancing is gonna be fun. Hooray. We got about a minute left. 2 minutes. 1.5 minutes. Yeah. So, oh, I guess because now let me fit in something that's actually, constructive. So, I've got two possibilities for how to handle everything after the last world. One, I just go straight to the ending. Or two, I do one of the most famous glitches in this game that I myself have never tried, but I've alluded to it several times in previous parts. I won't say what it stands for, but I'll just say it's the RBA. You guys want me to do that, tell me now. Because I'll do it. If I can, you know, pull it off. And I'll do that alongside, just a bunch of other random glitches before I go to the end game, air quotes. And, well, maybe not a bunch of other glitches, but I want to do some RBA nonsense, basically, so, yeah. Another thing is that I'm contemplating about making a very high production, not high production, just a very thorough guide bonus video. I'm gonna bite myself in the butt if I decide to go through with this. I said previously how I wanted to go after all the mumbo tokens in this game. I don't know where most of them are. So what I'm going to do is go back through my previous videos, mark where the ones I have found are, and then scour the rest of the worlds for the remaining ones, and then compile all of the footage of me grabbing them into a video that'll be released after the playthrough is done. Because, I don't know. That's the best way to handle it. Anyway, back to normal commentary. Good on me! I did it! I did. How observant of you. Okay, I'm missing 5 notes. I don't quite remember where they are, but hopefully they're within an area that I can remember to get to alive. Because that would be great. Yeah, so apologies that the majority of this part was post-commentary, but, you know, constant interruptions and me just generally not really feeling it after, you know, losing all the progress kind of put me in a bad mood. Actually, I think I do know where these last 5 notes are, and it is in one of the breakable window rooms that I haven't entered yet. So I think we'll be good, and then we can leave, and then we can leave, and then we can leave. I'll make some progress on this part to make up for the fact that this has mostly just been a retread of everything we've done. So, don't worry, there will be some things going on in this part. I think, is it this room? Yes, I believe that's 5. Yes, that is 5. Okay, good! Okay, good. Wish it didn't have to be like this, that I have to waste an entire part dedicated to retread, and, you know, I could have just cut this out. I really could have. But I personally think you guys have to understand where I'm coming from with my hatred. I feel like it might be unfair. It might be unfair, but at the same time, we're done. So, let us never speak of this again, and pray to the gods that I don't have to redo this world again. And if I do have to redo it again, I'm taking the engine room down first. I'm taking the goddamn engine room down first. That'll be the first thing I do. Let me double check, because we've been here almost an hour now. Goodness. Oh. Right. Okay. We have everything. We're leaving. We're fucking leaving, and we're never fucking coming back. So we do. Because... Wow! Yeah, wow-wee zowie. Oh yeah, I forgot the lifesavers are also here too. That's right, those are the only enemies. I don't need to be up there, but it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. I kind of actually do need to be up there. Oh man, all of my togetherness is just gone now because of that. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna stop after this. Even if the next world is one of my favorites, I do have to stop after this because I am definitely not in the mood. Most assuredly 100% not in the mood to do this. Feather. Right, okay. So, because of that, let's acquire the witch switch jiggy that we have, you know, unlocked. And then, head back quite a ways, actually, to a very familiar looking place. That'll be the centerpiece of the last world in the game. Yes. To do that, we'll open up this new door first, just to save on time. Just a little bit. We won't be entering there, by the way. Not yet. Down here? Yes. There's the jiggy in question. Okay. Let's see. Gold feather in there. Gonna need that. And is there another one in this hole? I think there is. There is. nothing in that hole. What a jape. Okay. So there's one more actual thing we want to do in this place. I don't know, a challenge shot, fool. And that is raise the water level one more time. Why? You'll see. No quick dive for you. Okay. So because of that, we have to be very fast and get up to a very specific area you might have noticed in an earlier part. And that is what we need to get to before time runs out, and we barely just enough time to do it. Yes, we will be fine. Okay, because this is how we get access to our very last Cheeto page. Or Cheeto spell thing. Bear and Bird getting good at fighting Cheeto, so another spell they shall have.
That traitor book has pushed its luck, so in the burning fire I'll chuck.
Find Cheeto which won't. Code you must enter on Sandcastle floor in Treasure Trove Cove is Gold Feathers.
It really does sound quite absurd. Adventure of a bear and bad.
Okay. So then, let us head toward the very last thing that we need to do to unlock the last world in the game. By taking the warp, of which I don't think I've actually shown off. I showed off how the warps work in, you know, one of the previous takes, but, that one got lost at the same time, so it didn't happen. So, yeah, and then you get spat out. Now, there's another warp I can take that's actually faster to get to where I need to go, but I don't want to take that warp because I want to keep it open if possible for the distinct and offhand possibility that we can do a very significant and well-known glitch with said warp. And I'll just show it off next part, but not this part. This part I want to go to the place of which we will do things at next part. Not this part, next part. So, what is that, you may ask? Well, you may remember this place from many moons ago. About, I want to say 20 parts ago, considering this is part 24, I believe. So, next time on Let's Play Banjo-Kazooie, I remembered that we're not supposed to be here quite yet. Well, I'll say in any case, that next time on Let's Play Banjo-Kazooie, we're going to be unlocking the very last world in the game, which is Click Clock Wood. So until then, see you later, and goodbye. What a perfect way to end this video by wasting even more time. Fuck.